April showers bring May flowers. That's the good news. April showers also bring a lot of rainy days to Happy Valley. When that happens, I just want a bowl of warm, comforting soup. But I don't mean the thick and chunky kind that I would serve in the fall. I want something smooth and creamy. Today, I'm going to be making my sweet and smoky cream of roasted tomato soup, and I'm going to be serving it with some parsley, pepper, and Parmesan bagel crisps. Let's get started. Roasted cream of tomato soup is one of my favorite soups, and it couldn't be easier. In fact, I'm going to show you a way to make it where the oven's going to do almost all of the work for us. What I have here in a little food storage bag is 1.5 pounds of really coarsely chopped onions and an entire head of garlic that's been peeled, and all the cloves are in there. It's approximately about 2 ounces of garlic cloves. I'm going to add 4 tablespoons, 1, 2, 3, 4, of olive oil to the bag, close it up, and toss it around really good. Just going to put all of this out on a large baking tray that I've lined with aluminum foil and a piece of parchment paper. We're just going to spread the onions and garlic out to make a nice bed for our tomatoes. Now I'm going to put 10 sprigs of fresh thyme. The smell of fresh thyme is absolutely wonderful, and it's available in our markets all year round. But if you really can't find it, do not be afraid to sprinkle this lightly with some dried thyme leaves. It'll all come out. A little bit of salt, lightly season it. I'm using sea salt and a really nice cracked black peppercorn blend. That's cracked black peppercorn blend. Next, I have 4 pounds of tomatoes, and I'm just going to quickly, I'm not going to dump these on the pan because I just want to make sure that all of the tomatoes are on the bed, and I want them facing upward, meaning skin side down, so that the skins hold all of the juices as the tomatoes roast. Now I'm going to take 4 more tablespoons of olive oil and just lightly drizzle the top of the tomatoes. A little more salt, a little more peppercorn blend, and my secret ingredient, 4 tablespoons of dark brown sugar sprinkled over the top, is going to caramelize these with a really sweet flavor. And once you do this once, you're never not going to use the brown sugar. I'm going to pop these in a 375-degree oven for 1.5 hours, just until the tops of these tomatoes are caramelized and they've got a little bit of a char to them. While my tomatoes are in the oven roasting, I'm going to prepare my bagel chips. And I have one rule about making bagel chips: 4. What do I mean by 4? Well, first of all, your bagels need to be old, 3 to 4 days old. When I know I'm making bagel chips, I often buy a bag of them and stick them in the refrigerator for a few days. And if you have a bagel that's been around for 2 or 3 days, use it to make a bagel chip. And another part about 4. What I want to do is slice my bagel into 4 discs, about 1/4 inch thick. If you slice them into 5, what's going to happen is they're going to burn before they crisp. So all we want to do, perfect size for dipping, dolloping, or slathering. To make our spread for the tops of our bagels, I have 1 stick of butter, and it's past room temperature. It's really, really soft. I'm adding a teaspoon of parsley flakes, a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and a 1/2 teaspoon of coarse black pepper. Just going to take an ordinary spoon, stir this all together. Takes about 10 seconds. Now what I've done here is I've sliced 2 bagels. And all I'm going to do is start buttering the tops of each one of these. And if you have children, this is a great job to give them. Just each piece at a time. My bagel chips are all buttered with that wonderful fragrant spread. Now it's time for the Parmesan cheese. And I'm just going to take my handy dandy little microplane grater and my real deal Parmigiano Reggiano cheese and just go over the tops of them with a nice coating. I don't want to be too heavy on the cheese because I don't want it to burn. Now I'm going to pop these in a 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes until they're all brown and crispy. And when they come out, it's going to be almost hard to resist eating them right away, but they need to cool for about 45 minutes, which means by the time these are ready to eat, it's time to finish up the soup. I've taken my roasted tomatoes out of the oven and my kitchen smells fabulous. I removed all the thyme sprigs from the baking pan and I transferred everything else to the work bowl of my food processor. I'm going to take about 20 pulses to puree this. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the lid from my food processor. What I'm going to add is a half a cup of cream and my secret ingredient, 3/4 of a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Put the lid back on my food processor and now I'm going to put about 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, take the lid off, take the bowl off, carefully remove the sharp blade, and I'm going to transfer all of this. Oh God, that smells so good. All of this. I'm going to add 3 cups of chicken stock. I'm just going to put this on the stovetop and bring it to a simmer and cook it for about 5 minutes, and it's time to eat. Smoky, sweet, soothing soup, crispy, crunchy bagel chips. Bring on the raindrops. For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website.